Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and today I'm doing my what I read and what I'm going to read video, and I had a really good reading week. Actually, since the new year I have read some pretty awesome books. I'm started off the year with a bang, and I'm slightly worried now that nothing's going to live up to expectations for the rest of the year, but I'm going to enjoy these 5 and 4 star books while I can. I knew some of them were going to be great because they're parts of series that I've been really enjoying, but some have been a complete surprise, which has been great. So let's talk about the books that I've read. This week I read 3 books and 1 graphic memoir, and I'm going to start with the graphic memoir because that's what I read first, and that is Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi. It's been on my radar for a long time and yet I hadn't picked it up, and then I finally got around to picking it up, and it took me longer to read than normal. A graphic novel normally I can read, a couple of hours, day at most, I whiz through them, they're really easy to read. But this one, whether it's because I just finished a really fast-paced book and this one was more heavy in terms of its content, I don't know, but I really enjoyed the experience of reading this a lot slower. The story is about Marjane, and it starts out when she's a girl of 10 and takes us up till she's around 22. She talks about growing up in Iran and gives us details of Iran's history through stories that she has heard either via uncles or friends or family, or things that she had happened to herself as well. Often with graphic novels I don't really feel as emotional. I sometimes feel adrenaline, and because often I read superhero graphic novels, it's fast paced, it's fun, it's action, it's like woo, the hero won. Whereas with this one it was a totally different experience for me, and I felt sadness and I laughed out loud and I felt a wide range of emotions, which was a really great experience. It's surprising for me as well that I enjoyed this so much because it is in black and white, if you can see there, and I'm generally drawn to bright punchy coloured graphic novels and comics, so that in itself shows how much I thought of this book. I liked how the story took us from when she was 10 to 22. I liked seeing her age and her progress and her change in her thoughts and feelings towards Iran, towards her country, towards politics and towards herself. I really liked that Marjane is a character that stood up for herself. She stood up for herself, she didn't conform to what she was meant to, and at times I really just wanted to say, oh, you go girl, you go get him, girl power. So I really loved that, and it made it even better because it's true. I gave this 5 stars, and it's definitely, I think, going to be an unexpected favourite, I would say. The next book I'm not going to talk too much about because I'm going to do a full review. It was a pick for my BookTuber Recommends, and it came from Estelle from Ordinenta. If you haven't checked her channel, definitely check it out. She's brilliant, she's French, she's living in Japan. She's started and she co-hosts a BookTube Reading Buddies, which is on Goodreads, a Goodreads group, which is absolutely brilliant. I'm always on there and buddy reading with people. It's a really great way to meet people to do buddy reads with. And her pick for me for BookTube Recommends was The Prestige by Christopher Priest. So all I'm going to tell you is that I gave this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It's set in Victorian era, and it is about 2 magicians and their feud that spans centuries and affects their families. I'm not going to say any more because you can check out my review if you want to know more. I think that'll be up in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, a great start for my BookTube Recommends books. The next book, again, I'm not going to speak too much of because I'm doing a review of this for next week, and that is Firefight by Brandon Sanderson. I loved this. It's the second book in the Reckoners series by Brandon Sanderson, the first one being Steelheart, which I gave 5 stars and I loved, and this was no exception. I loved this, 5 stars all the way. It continues the story where Steelheart left off. It's a series about a world where normal people have come into superpowers. A percentage of the population have got these superpowers, but unfortunately they're not your average lovely help everyone out superheroes. They're actually evil, and it's about a group of people, the Reckoners, who have banded together to try and stop them. Lucky enough, disclaimer, to get this on a Goodreads First Reads winner, but it hasn't affected my thoughts on it at all. I just love this series, so 5 stars. And then the final book that I've completed this week is another one of my favourite series, and that is Dead of Winter by Cressley Cole, which is the 3rd in her Arcana Chronicles. I adore this. I just love it. It's a YA fantasy series. It's about Evie and her life and her loves. There's romance in there, as there always is, but I do like it in this. But I'd forgotten quite how dark this story is and gruesome. It's, you know, there's some quite hard-hitting moments in there. So if torture and harm, self-harm and beatings are a trigger for you, then definitely don't read this, or consider, you know, before you read it. But it is brilliant. The series is set around tarot cards. So there's been an apocalyptic event and there is very few people left. There is some mortal people left. There is some people that are called bagmen, which are like zombie-like creatures. And then they're the arcana. And they are all young people who are depictions of the tarot cards. So our main character Evie is one of those. I won't tell you which because I don't want to spoil it, but I love this series. This has just come out this week. I had it on pre-order, and as I said before, that doesn't count on my 5:1 because I pre-ordered it months and months and months before I decided I was going to do the 5:1. But I read this in a day. It's great. I definitely recommend this, 5 stars. So from all those books that I've read this week, I have completed now my first 5:1 book coupon. I'm not going to buy any books with that because I'm actually going to be meeting up with Sam from Cold Tea and Crumbs and Katie from Kit Kats Can Read in March to do a little book shopping, which I'm very excited about. So I have decided, and I'm not sure if the other girls are doing it, but I'm definitely saving up my coupons for then so that I can buy quite a few books. I should have a chance to build up, you know, a good 4, 5, 6, hopefully, coupons for then, so I'm very excited. So I'm just going to quickly mention 2 books that arrived this week. One was a pre-order from quite a few months ago, and I think the only last pre-order I have is Mime Order, which is due to arrive in a few weeks. Other than that, I haven't got any books on pre-order, so that will be me done. And then also from my book club, my husband bought me a subscription for a year where I get sent a book every month, depending on what they think I like. So my final one from last year came, and he has renewed that subscription for my Christmas present. What a lovely man. So I will be getting more, so I'll be showing you those in future. The Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by Caitlin Doty. I've watched Caitlin's YouTube channel, Ask a Mortician, for ages, and if you're interested in the macabre and death and but with a slightly less serious slant to it, then I definitely recommend her YouTube. She's brilliant. She is a mortician and she lives in LA, and she's quirky and she's funny, and this is Smoke Gets in Your Eyes and Other Lessons from the Crematory. So I'd just be interested to read this. It's a non-fiction book, so I can add it to my non-fiction list. And then the book that I got from the Willoughby Book Club, which is who my book subscription is through, is called Running the Rift by Naomi Benaron. I don't know much about this. It won the Bellwether Prize for Fiction. It's about a boy called Jean who spent his life running as a child in Rwanda. He wants to be the first Rwandan to race in the Olympics. It's to do with a president's assassination and the Hutu and the Tutsi tribes, and I just think this will be really interesting and also one that I can add to my diverse reading list. And now very quickly, because this video is really very long, I'm just going to quickly show you the books that I'm thinking of reading next week. Most of these I would have explained in my January TBR, so I'm not going to go into any detail. I'm hoping at some point to get to the first part of Dance with Dragons by George R.R. Martin. This really needs to be read and I really need to pick it up. I think I'm put off by its size, but I'm feeling like I might want to read it this week. Next, I might pick up Percy Jackson and the Titan's Curse, which is the 3rd book in the Percy Jackson series. I'm reading these as part of a Goodreads group, Percy Jackson read-along group. And then thirdly, I might pick up, well, I'm definitely going to try and pick up Gathering Darkness by Morgan Rhodes. I've been putting it off, I think because I was a little bit more excited about Firefight by Brandon Sanderson and then Dead of Winter, but this is definitely on my radar for this week. This is the 3rd in Morgan Rhodes' Falling Kingdom series, which I've really been enjoying, so I'm hoping to get to this week. And then the 4th and final book that I may try and read this week is Little Lies, which I believe is by Liam Moriarty. I'll put a picture up here if I can of it so that you can see the front. It's a book I'm reading with a friend, a baby mummy friend who's into reading. She's read it and said it's brilliant. I heard about it on Jenny King's booktube channel. Definitely check her out. I love her booktube videos, and she does some great tea videos as well. So Jenny King's videos, make sure you check them out. And I heard about this on her channel and she did a great review of it in her wrap up. So I'm definitely interested in reading this. So I want to get to this week so I can meet up with my baby mum and go out and chat about this book. Anyway, so that's what I read this week. That's what I'm going to read next week, and a few of the books that I received in the post this week. What are you reading? Have you read any of these books? What are your thoughts on them? As always, great to talk, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Okay, bye for now, BookTube.